Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday to all that's watching. Um, my computer was doing something weird, so I'm having to stream live from my cell phone. Something I haven't done in a while, but it's okay. So again, thank you for joining tonight. All those that could join. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is 7:01, and it's a Monday evening. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, Tonight, I just wanted to talk just really, really briefly about learning how to love oneself, learning how to, you know, figure out who you are, what you want out of life, etc., etc. So tonight, I'm basically gonna be talking. It's kind of weird, y'all. I'm real close to the thing, so if I look a little strange, it's okay. As long as you can see my face, that's the main thing. I need y'all to see my face. But anyway, I'm just gonna be talking real briefly. Um, about an hour. I have enough content to cover at least an hour. But if we don't get to the hour, that's fine too. I just wanted to start back doing some podcasting. I've had some people ask me about podcasting when I was gonna start again. Um, all y'all that know me, y'all know I always mess with my hair when I'm doing this, and so it agitates some people, but it's okay. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Some of the things that may agitate some people, but perfectly okay if that's what you want to do. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will be discussing self care. How important it is to love yourself, love on yourself. How important it is to take care of yourself. So, with that being said, let's just real quickly talk about self care. What is self care? Okay. What is self care? So, if you go to a dictionary or Google or what have you, it'll pretty much tell you this is what I got. Self care is being able to assess who you are and find out what you like and what you want to do with yourself. And self care and self love. Let's start with self love. Self love pretty much tells you all the things that can be positive about yourself. All the things that you think you're great at. All the things that you think you're wonderful doing. That can be a part of self love. Is self love selfish? Depends on who you're talking to. Some people may say yes, and others may say no. It's really weird, y'all, because I'm trying to hold my phone and talk. But self care and self love does not necessarily mean being selfish. I want you to think about that, because a lot of people would say, "Oh, you're selfish. You're always thinking about yourself." Blase, blase, blase. Okay, I get that, but in reality, you're not being selfish at all. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't love yourself, I wrote a little poem, and it was, if I cannot first learn to love myself, I cannot ever be able to love somebody else. So self care strictly means learning how to love yourself, learning how to accept yourself, and learning how to love on yourself. So is it okay to love yourself? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see a little bit better here. So, what is self love again? Just like I just said, it's learning to love yourself, being happy with who you are, basically, being happy. Um, it's self love. Self love selfish? We already talked about that just a little bit. It depends. Now, there's a difference between self love and being a narcissist. Being a narcissist is someone who, don't agree with anything that anybody else has to say. I'm working with this light, sorry. So, a narcissist can be someone who basically only believes themselves, only want things done for themselves, etc., etc. They're being selfish. So, a narcissist is usually a little bit more than somebody that just love themselves. Okay. Because loving yourself in the right capacity is really healthy. Okay. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was how do we learn to love ourselves? Like, what does that look like? How do I know I love myself? Before we get to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about some other things. So, one of the things that I do know and recognize is with talking to people, a lot of people have complexes. And these complexes could have started way back when they were a child, a toddler, a teenager, young adult, what have you. Some people have complexes with themselves because of life experiences, something that they may or may not have gone through that was a positive thing in their life. So if someone has a complex, then of course they're not gonna, be able to. Hold on one second. Green screen. Okay, let's do a green screen. Okay, all right, that's good. So I just did a green screen. So, of course, if someone has a complex with themselves, um, because of something that they may have gone through when they were growing up, or something that they may have gone through, based on how somebody treated them, um, I've heard people say, or grown people telling their kid, "You're not going to be anything," or some mamas telling their sons, "You're just like your daddy." And some people telling young ladies, I know where you get that from. You get that from your mama. So those type of statements can actually cause complexes, um, and it can make people feel some kind of way. And what I mean by that, it could be words. Another little cliche, and I'm gonna get to what I'm talking about. Another little cliche. I've heard people say, "Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me." That's not true. Words can and will hurt you. As a matter of fact, I've had situations where words were more damaging to me than somebody actually, trying to come after me. What I mean by that is that things that they said sticks into my memory, or things that somebody can say to you can actually get stuck up here. You know, I ain't saying it's right for nobody to put their hand on you. That's not what I'm saying. Never, ever allow somebody to abuse you in any way. Anyway, especially if they are harming you physically. But some people, the mental aspects of being harmed and abused, or, you know, things of that nature. Because sometimes I've heard people say, "Well, my mom and daddy said I ain't, you know, I'm a bum. I ain't gonna be this and I ain't gonna be that." And the reason why I've heard stuff like that, y'all, I've worked with a lot of children, and it saddens me sometimes some of the things that they say that their parents or somebody said to them. And sometimes even y'all, unfortunately, sometimes even our educators say things that they shouldn't be saying to our kids. So, with that being said, I would like to say, be careful of your words, because words can really hurt you and hurt others. So think before you speak, like my granny always said. Just think before you speak. Now I'm gonna circle back around a little bit and get back into the self-care topic. So, with that being said, um, self-care helps with one's self-esteem, especially if someone has had things happen to them, said to them, etc., that were not nice. So what I mean by that, there are some people who they don't like who they are because of their self-esteem. They don't like who they are because of something that somebody said or what have you, etc. And y'all, I'm not sure what is going on right here, but I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. I was gonna try to put it on pause, so just hold on one second. I'm so sad.